Hello creators, it's Melissa from Melissa's Creations. Today we are hopping with the Inspire, Create, Share blog hop for the November theme, Christmas is Coming. This month we were tasked with making a Christmas gift idea 3D project using products from the holiday or the annual catalog. I decided to use the beautiful Blizzard stamp set and coordinating Thinlits die, which is amazing, by the way. And I'm so excited to show you how I made these projects. First of all, we have our 3D item, which I have used our pizza box, and I've put some champagne foil with some of those gorgeous snowflakes from the Blizzard's die, along with our beautiful ribbons and some rose metallic thread. I'm really pleased with how this turned out, and it's just a belly band so it can slide on and off. Really excited for that project. And I'm also going to make a coordinating card. Now this card is cased. My inspiration for this card came from Melissa Stout with the stamp doc. Everything is pretty much the same, except she did hers on Whisper White cardstock on a Whisper White card base. I decided to add a little bit of accent with the champagne foil, and I put mine onto a smoky slate card base. But the design on the card is pretty much the same. So I am really excited to dive into this beautiful Blizzard stamp set bundle. Let's get started. The very first thing I'm going to do is use the beautiful Blizzard's die to cut out my snowflakes with rose glimmer paper. So I have my magnetic platform, a cutting plate. I'm going to bring in some of my rose glimmer paper, and I'm going to put that right under my die. Now this glimmer paper I've cut to the width of the die, which is 4 inches. I'm going to put my cutting plate on top and run that through. I like to run my die through 3 times when using the glimmer paper, just to make sure that all of my shapes get cut out really well. And then I'm gently just bending the die a little bit to loosen it from that paper, and I'm going to use my die brush to get all those little pieces out. What's really fun about this die is that you can also use this negative for a really beautiful background on another project. There's another really awesome tip that you can use your Blizzard die. You can emboss with this die using the Big Shot embossing mats. So this comes with 3 different mats. We have this blue mat, which is the thin silicone rubber mat. We have a gray mat, which is the thick silicone rubber mat. And then we have this white mat, which is the impressions pad. Using these items, you can emboss with your thinlits and framelits. We're going to emboss the inside of our card with this die so that you can see what it looks like. So when you're using your Big Shot to cut out your thinlits and framelits, the standard sandwich is a Big Shot platform along with your thin die adapter, 1 cutting plate. You would put your cardstock and your material on that cutting plate, and then you would cover it with a second cutting plate. Since I just want to emboss on my cardstock, the sandwich is going to be as follows. We have the Big Shot platform, 1 of our cutting pads. To keep your die from moving around, make sure that after you get your placement, you can use a couple pieces of washi tape to hold it in place. Next, you're going to put on your thin silicone rubber mat, which is the blue mat. And on top, you're going to put on your impressions pad, which is the white pad. And after you run that through, your design will have embossed onto your project. Each Big Shot might be a slight bit different, so when you are running your project through, be sure that you play on test cardstock to make sure that the sandwich is correct. We're going to use the Stamparatus to stamp our sheet of Whisper White cardstock that goes on the front of our card. So I'm going to set this in the middle of my Stamparatus and use my magnets in the corners to hold it down. Make sure you don't let these magnets get too close or they could snap together and break. From the Beautiful Blizzard stamp set, I'm going to use quite a few of these gorgeous stamps. The first one we're going to use is, of course, that blustery looking cloud swirl of blizzardness. I don't know exactly what you would call that, but that's my description for it. So we see that there's a point here. That point is going to go off to the right, and I'm going to angle it on my card in the upper left corner. I'm going to close my Stamparatus plate to pick that up. I'm going to use some smoky slate ink. This is our old style classic Stampin' pad. Going to stamp that down. And if it's not as dark as you'd like, you can stamp it again and be assured that you are going to be stamping in the exact same place as long as you haven't moved your paper. I am also going to add my sentiment. If a hug were a snowflake, I'd send you a blizzard. I think that is such a cute sentiment for this time of year. Now we're going to get out this awesome little swirl, and I'm going to mount that up on one of my acrylic blocks. And using Berry Burst, I'm going to stamp 2 coming out at an angle from my blustery blizzard. Now that we're done stamping, we can take our project off of the Stamparatus. And now I get to sort through all those gorgeous snowflakes to decide which ones are going to go on my card. I'm going to put one of these large snowflakes in the middle. So I'm going to pop that up onto a glue dot. Because that glue dot is almost the same size as the circle on my snowflake, I'm going to also take a rhinestone and pop that down in the center to help keep it in place. Now we're going to take a smaller snowflake and do the same thing. And finally, we'll take one of these gorgeous snowflakes and again, apply that with a rhinestone in the middle. Let's add a few more rhinestones for a little bit more bling. I have a strip of our champagne foil and it is so gorgeous. It has the slightest pink tint to it and it is so shiny and I love it. We're going to cut this down so that we can put a small accent on the top and the side of our card. So I'm going to cut this strip down into a couple of smaller strips. We're going to do 5 1/4 and 4. On my sample card, you can see that I've miter cut the edge. To get that mitered corner, I'm going to take my small piece and layer it right on top of my long piece so that we have an L shape. Then I'm going to take my snips and snip from the inner quarter to the outer corner. And those of you that quilt and make binding will kind of be familiar with this technique. And now when you put them together, you have a mitered corner. Now I'm going to put those foil strips down onto my card base. So I'm taking some of our snail adhesive and running that along that strip. And then I'm going to eyeball the placement on the card. Next, I'm going to take some dimensionals on the back of my card front. And I'm going to place that so that the right corner and the bottom corner line up with the ends of my foil sheet. And the inside of our card is embossed. And there we are, creators. There's our card today. Let's dive into the coordinating gift box. So here are some of the items that we're going to use on our gift box today. I do have some of our metallic edge ribbon in the Berry Burst, which is so gorgeous. Has a little bit of a silver thread running along the edge. We also have some of the polka dot tulle ribbon in Whisper White. I have some of our gorgeous rose metallic thread. Of course, more jewels. These are the basic rhinestones. This is the old style sheet. The new sheets no longer have the strips. I have a 1.5 inch strip of that beautiful champagne foil. This is 12 inches long by 1.5 wide. And we have our pizza box. These pizza boxes, the mini pizza boxes, come in packages of 8. I've already used quite a few. I think I have 1 or 2 left in here. So we're going to pull one of those out. And these are super easy to assemble. All you do is fold on all the score lines. And to assemble the base, you just fold the flaps in and pull it over and snap it down. To fold the rest of the box, fold the tabs in and bring the lid over, tucking in the side flaps and the front flap. To get our foil sheet to wrap around the pizza box as a belly band, I'm going to start by centering it over the front of my pizza box. Then holding the side of the box in, I'm going to gently crease the foil around that edge. Doing the same on the other side. And then I'm going to pick up the box and wrap it to the back. You want to be sure that when you're wrapping this around your pizza box, your belly band isn't too tight. You want it to be able to easily slide on and off of your box. I'm going to take the belly band off, and then I'm just going to reinforce those crease marks by folding my foil on top of itself and making sure that I'm in line, and then I'm just going to gently finger press it. I'm not going to use my bone folder because I want to reduce the risk of cracking on the foil side of the paper. Once you have those creased, you can put your belly band back onto your box and secure it in place with some tear and tape adhesive. I like to use our tear and tape adhesive on projects like this because it's extra durable, and especially for belly bands on a hard paper like the foil, it holds really well. Again, when you go to adhere this together, make sure that your belly band isn't too tight, and then just line up the edges and secure it in place. Now that our belly band easily slides on and off, we're ready to start decorating. I'm going to start by taking a length of our polka dot tulle ribbon and laying it down on my table. Then I'm going to layer on top that beautiful Berry Burst ribbon. I'm going to set my project on top of that. And then I'm going to bring the ribbon together and tie it into a knot. To create my snowflake accent that's going to go on top of my ribbon, I'm going to start with some metallic thread and a glue dot. I'm going to put the end of the thread into the glue dot and just make a few loops, securing it onto the glue dot as I go. I do want to make this a figure 8 so that the thread is on the top and the bottom of the snowflake. I like to take an extra glue dot and put it right on top to make a little sandwich to really make sure that that thread doesn't go anywhere. I'm going to take one of my snowflakes and put it on top of that glue dot. Now I'm going to pick that all up and put it onto the top of my knot. I also like to take an extra glue dot and secure the knot to the foil. We're going to add a couple more of those beautiful snowflakes to our box. And then we're going to finish that off with some, of course, rhinestones. When you're placing your small snowflakes and rhinestones at the bottom, make sure that when you go to slide your belly band on and off, it doesn't catch on those rhinestones. I have a little bit of a curve on my foil, so it just clears those snowflakes and rhinestones. And there we are, creators. There's our gorgeous project today, featuring a fun card with a coordinating 3D box to package your Christmas goodies in. Thank you so much for watching today. I really hope you enjoyed this special video. If you did, please be sure to give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and be sure that you click that bell icon so that you can be notified when I upload new videos. You can follow me online at melissascreations.com and on Facebook at facebook.com/MKre8tions. I'm also on social media. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest with the handle at MKre8tions. Thank you so much for joining me. Be sure that you scroll down to the description box below this video and click on the link for my coordinating blog post. You can hop around to all of the other wonderfully talented demonstrators that are taking part in the November Inspire, Create, Share blog hop. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Bye! And I'm going to cut from the inside corner to the outer corner. Oh. Well, that doesn't work. I cut it the wrong way. Shnikes. So I'm taking some of our snail adhesive. Maybe.